Hello, it's about 9:30. Welcome to the weather update, July 28th, 2019. We're doing another weather update tonight because the conditions have gotten really bad outside, and I'll tell you, I was outside in the evening, and it wasn't too bad in the early evening in Hicksville. There was a breeze, and we had some pretty clouds in the sky, but once the sun went down, the breeze died pretty much as the sun was going down, and we have no sea breeze now, and we're just dying. So I'm using this tool here called You see, you can't see the observations very well, so I cannot see. This is what they use now. It's called Now Coast for the Weather Service, but I just don't like using those. It's just hard to see what the high temperatures were, but I don't know if you can make these things larger so you can see. I don't know how to use this exactly. So maybe there's a way, if I zoom in, they don't get any larger. I don't think the numbers. Yeah, they still say small. You can barely read them if you're watching a video on your phone. So that's why I don't want to use that. So current weather. I wish they had a better thing to use than that. But we're looking at the Weather Service site because we got to look at some current temperatures. So let's go ahead and look at that instead. That's the way we're doing. I prefer just doing it this way instead of using our map. So 78 degrees at Farmingdale, dew point now up to 71, southwest wind at 6. So if we look at the high temperature at Farmingdale, it hit 87. So it was a hot day today. And humid too, and the problem is the westerly component to that wind picked up later in the day, which made it feel even worse. And yes, we have some activity on the radar too that we have to talk about as well. Let's look at Tom's River, 80 still there, dew point 71, and they hit 93 today, so oof, brutal. So it was much warmer in Jersey, but still it's muggy tonight. Let's look at the radar here, and you'll see some showers, just light showers, nothing really heavy, but some light showers now popping up. So I have to do a weather update too, because we'll have to see if these showers hold together. Here is a line of showers and thunderstorms that could be approaching the area and could affect our area, but it seems to be weakening. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll see if it holds together or not. I'm not really expecting anything, too much from that line. So air quality alert is in effect today, as you see here. Very poor air quality, very hazy, and we're going to have this air quality effect for quite a lot of this week. Actually, we're going to have it in effect. So looking at the current temperatures right now across the area, you will see on Long Island we have no sea breeze, which is why we're dying. So in the middle of the island here, yeah, it's still around 80 degrees, and I felt every bit. I'll tell you, I just walked from a bus stop, which is like 5 minutes away, and I was just drenched in sweat. It's horrible out there. It's 80 degrees, no sea breeze, no breeze whatsoever, so you're really dying. And even on the South Shore, I see the temperatures aren't really that much cooler. You have to be right on the beach maybe to get some kind of breeze. But we're going with a west wind, and that west wind is always, what I say, a killer west wind for us, because then we get the air off the very hot state of New Jersey. And see, there's not much of a difference between New Jersey and Long Island. And then, of course, you get the city, too, and the heat island effect there as well. But the thing is, when you have that westerly flow, you're getting all that air off the very hot state of New Jersey instead of the cooler ocean water, so we die, and we get a taste of what they deal with in New Jersey. I wish they just keep their heat to themselves. Please, Jersey, keep your heat to yourself. We don't want it. All right, so I want to, before I go look at the satellite, I want to look at the dew points as well. Dew points, you could see it's humid out. Temperatures, dew points are in the low and mid 70s, so very humid, obviously making it feel much worse across the area than it actually is, but it's still bad. I mean, 80 degrees at night is oppressive, just oppressive. This is the Ventus sky, kind of misleading. Looks like there's a sea breeze, but there really isn't. But I want to look at this for Cape, so I want to see if we have. Well, actually, it does have some elevated Cape over us, believe it or not. So maybe a thunderstorm could form, perhaps, but nothing is forming. I think the atmosphere is fairly well capped. That's probably why. Even though there could be a thunderstorm, when we look at the lifted index, it's probably not that high. No, it's high too. Surprised we're not seeing some thunderstorms. You'd think we would with these conditions, but we're really not. It's just out in Pennsylvania that we see these thunderstorms. And again, I'll put the radar. As you can see, here they are right here. Whether these will hold together or not, I don't know. I don't know. They could not. It's hard to say. It's very hard to say whether they're going to hold together or not. Alright, so I'm going to look at the satellite now. Not that satellite. Not that one. Not yet. We're actually going to look at the Weather Service satellite, and I want to look at a couple of things in the satellite. So we'll first look at our regular satellite for our area here, and you can see these thunderstorms. Can't really see the smoke anymore because this is an infrared satellite, which doesn't show the smoke. But I'll put it back to 48 frames. You should be able to see all that smoke again in our area. So if we pause it again, you'll see. Just look at all that garbage in our air. Yuck. So air quality's bad. It's warm, it's humid, and I want to see something for a minute. I want to look at the Atlantic. Well, it's not. I want to look at a different satellite from a different area. So I want to look at the Atlantic. See if we can find. Just take a look and see if we can find something. U.S. Atlantic coast. All right, this one right here. I want to see if there's anything here forming or not. I don't really see anything forming, so let's just put this up to 60. Let's see, during the daytime, because it looked like there was something. No, nothing really going right now. I don't see any tropical activity in the Atlantic, which is very fortunate. Even though the models are saying there was going to be some tropical activity, it doesn't look like that there really has been any tropical activity, which is good. That's good news. So we'll go over to this satellite here. And again, look at the maybe a little less smoke in the air today. I don't know. It looked pretty hazy to me. You can see this looks like a sea breeze front right here. You see this line of clouds here. Those can set off thunderstorms. So you can have thunderstorms set off from sea breeze, which usually happens in Florida, but this is becoming more like Florida, so that's what you're seeing more of. A lot of cumulus around and haze. Even though, like I said, it doesn't really show up too well on this particular satellite. Haze that was in the air. I'm looking to see if we can. Usually one of these shows up on. Yeah, you can see it in that one. Yeah, there you go. See that haze. Some of them have filter out the haze if there's smoke. So this is the satellite. Yeah, this is the area of activity that is around Bermuda, but it doesn't really show any signs of. Now, what is this? This almost looks like a tropical system. But again, when we looked at the satellite, we saw it wasn't, but you look at that, it almost looks like a tropical system, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just an extratropical low, I think. You can see the warm front, cold front combination. You can see the smoke. Here it is. See, look, covering the whole eastern part of the country. West Coast, no smoke for them. You know, they got clean air. And looks like some clean air in Canada, of course, but it's just, yeah, it's disgusting. I want to look at something else. See if we can look at Russia. See where the smoke is, because some of that smoke from Russia is actually making its way into British Columbia. That's insane. That's insane. I know this is more climate update material, but because look at this. So you see all of these fires here still going, and look at all this smoke. But it affects our weather because, again, this is just a huge plume of smoke that's coming out of Russia. And this is going to make it around the world. You can see it's caught up in there. It's already made it into British Columbia, so we may be seeing some of that. We may be dealing with some of that maybe in 5 to 7 days. We'll have to see what happens. So let's look at the models and see what is going to be. What we're not going to actually, because we already looked at the GFS already. I'm just going to look at the NAM. We already looked at that in the weather update. I'm just curious. We're not really going to go over the temperatures this week because we went over them in the other weather update. There's no sense in beating a dead horse. We're going to just look at the chances for thunderstorms. So here's the NAM, and it does have some thunderstorm activity in the wee hours of the morning, say between midnight and 5 a.m. perhaps. Could be some strong thunderstorms, and like I said, the way the atmosphere is with the Cape levels, some of them could be strong. The models go back and forth on this, but I think there's a possibility we could see some strong storms in the overnight hours. Probably not severe, but you never know. And then as we go into Monday, you see some more isolated storms pop up, but the NAM doesn't seem to think that there's going to be uh, any widespread activity right through the end of the period, which would be Wednesday. That's the NAM. We'll look at the RGEM and see. Again, the RGEM is a lower resolution model, but we can look at that and see if yeah, similar idea. So some activity probably in the overnight hours. And the RGM seems to think that there's going to be some activity, mostly west of the city in New Jersey, for tomorrow afternoon and evening. And there's that system again. So it keeps, this one spins it up too. So there's, I mean, with such humidity in place, there could be a chance of isolated thunderstorms, definitely, in for sure. Well, I already looked at the ICON in the last one. We looked at, let's look at the HRRR, which I know doesn't go that far out, but they have a new run every hour. So this is like a rapid update model. See, it weakens it. So the HRRR weakens it. So you have the models disagreeing on whether these storms are going to hold together tonight. I'm not sure if they are, but there's the possibility, given the air mass we're in, that there could be some thunderstorms. Some of them could be strong. Maybe a few of them could be severe. Nothing widespread, but just a chance because of the air mass we're in. And as far as the dew points go and the humidity, I don't think the HRRR does dew points too. So you can see here the wind flow. So we have like a southwesterly wind flow, but the problem is it's southwesterly. So you can see that westerly component is going to kill us when it comes to the heat, and that means the middle of the island is going to be hotter. You have to be right on the south shore to get any relief. So let's look at the HRRR's temperature for tomorrow, and you'll see Jersey is going to be in the heat for sure. 90s, probably 95, 96 in Toms River, and probably low 90s on the north shore and the middle of the island too, getting the heat. Only the east end and the south shore probably escape dealing with 90 degrees tomorrow, according to the HRRR. It only goes out to 17Z. Let's look at some other. I'm going to look at some other models to show you. We'll look at the RGEM. I'll look at some other models to show you the temperature. Because the problem with GFS is the resolution is not that high. So on the RGEM, you can actually see the heat in Jersey. You can also see a sea breeze developing. So the RGEM does seem to develop a sea breeze. You can see temperatures drop even in Jersey. So it develops some kind of sea breeze, whether that may be sea breeze or it may be from the rain, or a combination of both. But the RGEM at least doesn't have the 90s on Long Island. At least has more of a sea breeze for us. Let's look at the Tuesday RGEM here. And the same thing again. Most of the heat is in New Jersey, Long Island in the 80s. So the RGEM probably has more of a southerly component with the wind. So I'm going to actually look at the dew points, which usually, this doesn't have it. So we're going to look at the wind direction here and see what the wind direction is. So yeah, it has more of a southerly component, just as I thought. You could see more of a southerly component and less of a southwesterly component. So more of a southerly component, better for Long Island, keeps Long Island cool with the sea breeze. That's the RGEM. I don't think the HDRPS does. It does have wind output too. So the HDRPS also takes a look at the wind, because the sea breeze is going to make a difference. If we start off tomorrow with that west wind, that'll kill us. That's what's killing us tonight. And the HDRPS is a little more of a westerly component with the wind, which again makes us die on Long Island. Unless you're right on the south shore, it's bad with that west wind. That's why I call it a killer west wind. Let's look at the ICON model. ICON model also shows that west wind again. So that's the problem. So ICON seems to show the westerly component. A little less of it on Tuesday, and a little more of it on Wednesday. So, and then you can actually see, it looks like north winds on Thursday, the ICON. So I'm curious, the ICON looks like it brings this front through for Thursday. So actually, let's look at the temperatures and see if this front actually gets through or not. So these are the temperatures for Thursday. Well, actually, a better indication is looking at the dew points. Let's look at the. No, this doesn't do dew points, right? It doesn't have that. Just has it doesn't give you, not all the models give you all the products, but it looks like it cools off significantly. So at least it cools off. Whether we see lower humidity or not, that's another story. Um, so just going over some different models here. I don't usually use the Canadian. I don't even bother with that one. GFS, obviously, we'll look at again one more time as far as what this front goes. And I'm pretty sure it's still stalling it out. Yeah. Look at how painfully close that dry air is. It's just so annoying. It's so annoying. And then the humidity comes right back. You know, I mean, I'm tired of this damn humidity already. What is it going to take to get rid of it? Makes us wait for it till it keeps pushing it off until, you know, I'm tired of it already. The entire summer is humid, basically, now. It never used to be like that when I was younger. That's climate change. That's climate change for you. So, looking at the GFS wind barbs, though, you can see that westerly component, which is what's killing us right now. Let's put this over here. Tonight, you see that westerly component on the isobars. I'm sorry, on the wind barbs. And little less of it tomorrow, maybe, but you still see that westerly component coming off New Jersey and onto Long Island. So, bringing the heat from New Jersey over to Long Island. A little less of it on Tuesday, hopefully. So tomorrow is probably going to be really brutal unless you're on the South Shore. That's the key. And boy, wouldn't you like to be up here in eastern Canada dealing with these 30-degree dew points? Wouldn't that be wonderful? So we're going to use a different model now. We're going to use the windy.com site here, which outputs some information from the European model. And if I play this, I think it actually goes through. It actually does play into 3 a.m. You see it. I'm going to play this animation for you, looking at the temperatures. You can see it heat up as the day goes on, and then it drops. But this is a little low, in my opinion. The Euro, this is a little low. It's a little cool. I think it's going to be hotter than this for sure. But it's interesting. It's interesting animation to play. And you can see what happens. It gets hotter in New Jersey for sure. Much hotter in New Jersey. And it has more of a sea breeze. So the European seems to think more of a sea breeze will develop. I'm hoping the European is right. I'm hoping it's right because I don't want the heat from Jersey. The heat can stay in Jersey as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see what happens. This is an interesting little animation to play out here. Never done this before, but you know, trying some new things here in the weather update. To see what it's like out there. So it's kind of interesting. We'll play this through the week and see. See the relief coming. See the winds have shifted now to the northwest. They are going into Thursday. I'm going to stop it here. I'll just fast forward it manually. Friday. And so let's look at the dew points. Because this is well, it's not displaying the dew point. Alright, what's going on? Those are the air temperatures, not the dew point. It's not going to display the dew point temperature on here. No, it's not. No, those are air temperatures. Okay, so it doesn't work that way. Okay, well, it's interesting to see. Clouds. We're using some new tools here, so it looks like according to this it would be clear than the front. It looks like see the Euro wants to clear the front through, and I'll explain to you the difference again between the Euro and the GFS that we seem to be seeing when we look at this, and we'll go and we'll look back at this, and then I'm going to wrap up this weather update looking at the CONUS and the upper air, because the upper air is basically what it's all about as far as where things line up. So with this front coming through, you can see the GFS is fairly flat with this. Doesn't really dig much of it through. There's the trough. There's the trough. But it just has a shallow little trough off to the west, whereas if we look at the European, it actually seems to be an agreement here, but the isobars are curved differently, and so that is more likely to bring the front through. Actually seems to be an agreement on this. I'm hoping and praying that front gets through, that's all. I know it's 5 days away, but, you know, for now, we deal with the heat, we deal with the humidity, and hopefully, maybe we get some relief from a sea breeze on Long Island. Anyway, one more look at the radar. We have some rain showers. Oh, it's starting to flare up again. So this will have to be bearing watching. If there's any severe weather that happens tonight, I guess I'll have to do another weather update. But that wraps up this one. Take care and thank you for watching.